Okay, hi Seb, welcome to your live DR. The first one for the final seven. We just got here. Chips were just evicted 4-1. Go off with your thoughts.
Yes! Oh my goodness. This week could not have gone any better for me. This is exactly what I wanted, and it wasn't even my HOH. Oh my goodness. Yo, I am hyped as hell. I can't even tell you enough, Brian. Oh my goodness. Literally everything fell into place. I thought it wasn't going to at first because Lily was being very stubborn about not putting up chips and putting up Brian, which wouldn't have been good for me. So it was as easy as I wanted to win the veto, take Brian down. She would have had no choice but to put up um, Chips or Timmy L. And then at the end of the day, we voted out Alex. But the way that it worked out was perfect. Timmy L wins the veto, takes Brian down. She'll never put me up because she assumes that I'm loyal, which I am to an extent. But I also know how tough of a competitor she is, and I also know how good of a player she is. And I know that she has to leave soon, but I was able to manipulate her whole HOH just so I can have what I wanted.
Okay, so with this next HOH, are you planning on winning it?
Yes, very much so because it's final seven. I really wanted that magic carpet so I could make it to final six or final five.
But
Obviously,
Lily has that now. Does that worry you?
no, because I would never flat up nominate Lily. I would always backdoor her, and I don't think Lily would expect to backdoor from me. So it's as easy as keeping her in the dark until then.
Okay. So, so if you win HOH, you would tell her not to use it, and then you would backstab her and put her off.
I mean, she wouldn't have to because she has this trust with me, which I think is great because if she's been winning HOH after an HOH after HOH, so it's good that Lily's winning because it automatically puts me in a safe position to not only tell her how I feel about the game and what I want to be done, but also she will not nominate me at all. And unless we're at final four, but I don't think she would have want to. It's just such a smart way. I have Lily on this side, I have the Brigade on the other, and I'm more loyal to the Brigade because they're a stronger alliance. And if I had to take, and it's easy to get four people to the end than two. Plus, if I take Lily to the end, I'm losing. I might have a better social game, might, but at the end of the day, Lily has more comp wins under her belt. She's way nicer than me. People value Lily to a high extent, and Lily could just use the fact that she's had a target on her since Final Seven or Final Eight to motivate her to get to the end. So if I win HOH, I'd probably nominate Alex and Ruthie, and then if one of themselves takes themselves down, put up Lily. If not, I still have Lily in my back pocket.
Understandable. So, do you think Alex will be mad? Because from what I'm knowing about your game, that you're working with him to some extent.
Yeah, I am. I think I would. I think I would be honest with him and be like, "Listen, I know we said we were working together, but we still haven't talked a lot, and I'm honestly putting you up as a pawn, like, because honestly, I don't care if Alex leaves. It would be detrimental to my game, but if Alex leaves, I just have to find a way to get Jay to the end with me.
Oh, so your ideal final two is either primarily Alex, but if not Jay with you.
If not Jay, and if not Jay, then Ruthie, because everyone else would beat me at the end.
Okay. Um. So you're gonna start working on taking out the people you think can beat you. At what point do you plan on taking out the people that can beat you that are in the brigade, aka Brian and Tamiel?
I have someone else do it. As we get more towards the end of the game, if I feel like we have to keep Alex because it's very smart. We have to get Ruthie or Lily out soon. They're both power players. Ruthie's staying under the scenes. She's kind of has the same strategy as Alex, doesn't really talk until like she needs to, which I think it works better for Lily because Lily, or not Lily, I think it works better for Ruthie because Ruthie like has this big eccentric personality every time I talk to her that it works the times that she does talk.
Understandable. So you're feeling. It's a question. Are you feeling confident about your position in the game right now? And like, you don't
The
think you're going to go on the block no matter who wins HOH this week?
only person I see myself going on the block is if Ruthie wins the HOH.
And even then, are you the target? Do you think? Or
I don't think I'm the target, but I don't want anyone from the brigade leaving unless it is against me.
understandable. So have you been thinking about? I asked you about Lily's flying carpet, last flying carpet. Have you been thinking about Brian's extra vote and if that impacts your game? Not extra vote, steal a vote. If that
Uh,
impacts your game at all?
does and it doesn't. I don't want to be up against Brian or Timiel because they are amazing when it comes to vocalizing what they want in the game. Whereas I'm very bad at vocalizing what I want in the game. Like, because I need to I want to keep my cards close to my chest. And in order to do that, I can't like show them to everyone and be like, hey, this is what I want done. Because hypothetically, I would want Timiel and Brian to leave, even on working with them, because they're big threats. We are at the point of the game where I have to worry about every single person.
So that's understandable. So you see a path for yourself to make it to the end and potentially win this game, right?
I have paths. My worst path is if the final three is me, Timiel, and Brian, because Timiel wins, he takes Brian. Brian wins, they take Timiel. If I win, I have to take someone who's going to beat me at the end of the day.
So
Yeah.
you got to make sure that for your game that you're not with both of them. Is that your intent?
My intent is that my main intent is to take Alex with me to the final three so that Brian wins. So, like, let's say hypothetically, the final three is me, Alex, and Brian. Brian wins the final HOH. He takes me. I mean, I could fight a chance. I could fight and say I played a game against Brian, but Brian's had more comp wins than me. Brian's definitely been more social than me. I don't know about strategically, but whereas if I go against Alex, Alex's only defense is that he flew under the radar. My defense is that I played better strategically. I was better socially. I won more comps than Alex. Like it's like a triple threat that I can just throw in their faces.
So talking about the jury and like people you like, are you thinking about ways you can like put people in the jury without them being mad at you and want to vote for you at the end?
I don't care, Brian. If my plan is going the way I want it to go, then Alex will be at the end with me. And if they vote for Alex against me, I don't unless Alex pulls some big power plays before final seven to final three, I don't think that there's any way that I can lose.
Okay, so confidence, we love to see it. So let's talk about this past vote. It was 4-1. Do you have idea who the one was?
It was Ruthie. That's my assumption. I know Ruthie told me like straight up. She was like, "I'd rather have Chips stay, but I'm voting for again to evict Chips because I feel that he is the majority. So unless someone threw a hinky vote in there, um, I don't know why they would, but it's either Ruthie or Jay.
Okay, cool. Um, so I was thinking of a question. Um, who do you think is playing like the best game right now? If you had to choose, you can say you if you want, but that's up to you.
I do think I'm playing a good game. Thanks for asking, Brian. But that's not who I'm going to say is playing the best game. I think it's probably Brian. I would say Lily, but Lily has a target on her back, and hence the reason she needed the carpet. But it'd probably be Brian. Brian's won comps. He's very good socially. Strategically, he's kept himself here long enough. He's been on the block like 2 or 3 times. And now we're in the final 7. We have the final 4. And my goal is I can't have it going in the final 4 because I feel like I'm the bottom. Because anyone would be smart to take Jay to the end. Because Jay's good socially, but Jay hasn't won a comp. Jay has 2 strikes against him. Um, Jay, I don't know where Jay's strategic head is at. Like,
Does
so
that worry you
obviously,
that Jay could put you on the block if you won the HOH?
a little, again, I just said I don't know where his head is at. I would think that, since we're in alliance, I hope you win it. Final 4, I know for a fact Jay would put me on the block though, because like, why wouldn't he? He probably has better bonds with both Brian and Timiel. And the first time I really talked to Jay was during when we finally made that group.
Okay. Uh, Speaking of like being on the block, you mentioned Brian was on the block a couple times, but are you worried that since there still is a couple people that haven't been on the block, you worried that if they go to the end, like being unnominated, if that happens, that they could like have an easy case to win?
The only person who hasn't been on the block is Ruthie. And I don't think that would be a big deal. I mean, that's obviously very impressive. It means that Ruthie flew under the radar. But Ruthie also hasn't won anything. I don't know where Ruthie's head is at strategically. I, I don't think anyone knows where Ruthie's head is strategically unless Ruthie's running this game and I just don't know it. Like, Ruthie, yeah, because Lily was nominated last week. Brian's been nominated a couple times. Timmy L's been nominated a couple of times. I've been a final nom once. Um, Alex was a nom this week. And Chips just left. So yeah, we've all been on the block except for Ruthie. So I do think that Ruthie had she can't really use that to her advantage because there's a difference. Like there's Ruthie and then there's Derek from BB16. Like Derek was a big personality who ran most of the game. And for him not to be nominated, that's a big feat. Ruthie, on the other hand, flew right under the radar. She's not really doing much. She hasn't been much socially. So I don't know. Maybe she's like I said before. Maybe she is just running the game, and I don't know it. But at the moment, I don't see it.
So I have one more question for you. Are you happy with the way you've been playing thus far up until this point?
I felt like a loser like the past few weeks. But the fact that I got to do what I wanted. Like for instance, I'm not even sure if Chips was the one voted in Lily, but Lily believed me. And the fact of the matter is the final noms were Chip and Alex, like I wanted, instead of it being Timmy L or Brian or Jay or any of those other people. I've convinced Lily that Jay would be a number on our side when actuality I'm working with Jay. Like I told Chips that he was staying. Like I feel like I have my ducks in a row. Again, I can never be too confident or cocky, but
Do you think
I
telling
think
Chips that he was staying could potentially lose his jury vote?
no, because I didn't straight up tell him that I was. Well, also here's the thing. So I didn't tell him I was voting for him to stay. I told him I'm leaning towards him staying. Things change in this game rapidly, and he should understand that as well as anyone else. But at the same time, he he'd be dumb if he thought I was the one vote to keep him, but he might. I don't know.
Okay. I don't think I have any more questions at this moment. Is there anything else you want to say in this DR?
Um, I love the VL, love them. Um, I love everyone in the VL. I'm trying to think who's in the VL that I might know. Who wants a special Sebastian shout out?
I can read off the VL to you if you want. Give
That
me a
would be
second. Let me go to it. Well, Olivia's in there.
Olivia, like the one who left.
Yes. She's doing well now.
That's good. I'm glad for that. Is Michael Davis in the VL?
Let's check.
Chance.
No, he is not. He decided not to support me.
That's understandable. Not to you, but I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
Let's see who could be in this VL.
I don't know if you know Grace.
Grace. Why does that sound so familiar?
She's Pinkie Pie on Tengage.
That name still doesn't sound familiar to me. Like I don't know.
We
Um.
got we got we got Sam in here. I know you know
Uh,
Sam.
my special Sebastian shout out is for Sam. 1984 King. Um, Love him. I have him on Snapchat, but I never talked to him since the season because he low key intimidates me. Because I was a 17-year-old punk playing orgs when he was literally destroying the game. So my special Sebastian shout out for the VL is for Sam. You can tell Sam that I love him and that he should never forget about uh, me because I was also in 1984, and so you should never forget about me. Tell him that I was the deciding vote to keep for him to win 1984. My
Wait, was that vote really close? I thought it was six. I thought it was 6-1 in
know,
his season.
all I know is that when they pulled my key and they said the winner of 1984, Sam. So I technically was
Was
the
the deciding? I get you.
key one. So my Sebastian shout out goes to Sam. 1984 King. Tell him he's amazing, and that I want to play another game with him.
Okay, we'll do. And I'll tell the whole VO you love them.
Yes, yes. Tell them all I love them.
Okay. So with that, I will stop the recording. Thanks for doing this, Seth.